we start a class. How can create a class in a Typescript? Now, here onwards, from array of object, we learn a JavaScript. Okay, means JavaScript. How we can use a JavaScript inside the Typescript? That is here onwards we learning. Okay, means array of object, JSON object, map, slice. These all are functionality present in JavaScript. So answer is yes. That is actual a JavaScript as well. Right now we are here from studying. We'll study class, properties, method, that functionality present in additional features of a TypeScript. So now actual features we learn now. How we can create the class property, that will be now check out here. So for that we can create another file, demo3 demo3.ts. Now in demo3.ts we create a class file. How we can create the class? Syntax is same as your core Java. There is no any difference between them. So in core Java you can create using class is a keyword. Same here, use a class as a keyword, followed by the class name. For example, class my class, curly bracket, and inside the curly bracket you can use your member or all these things. So same syntax is there, core Java. Correct? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Only one difference. Can you explain which is the one difference between core Java and TypeScript? We created the class. Only little bit difference is there. Can you tell me? Looking that
That
code.
we created a package, and within the package we created the class. But here we directly created the class.
Srinivasan, sorry. Can you repeat, please? Sorry for that. Srinivasan, please. Can you repeat?
Yeah, in core Java we created a package. Within the package we created one class. But
Okay.
and within that we created a method. But here we directly created a class.
Okay.
Now
Now see. No. Actually, package. The Srinivasan told that package. What do you mean by package? In general scenario, package is
Package is a folder.
just a folder.
just a folder, correct? In general scenario, it is just a folder. So already we are created folder, means we are in a package day 03. Correct, Srinivasan? Means your current package name is day 3.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Can you tell me the another difference?
Main function.
Main function. No. Main function is an entry point function. If you created a class and you can access that class, you have to create the class object and access that method. Then further you require an entry point function, and with the entry point function your actual execution start. That is the purpose of main method. I just ask the difference. What is the difference? I'm writing only 3-line code, not bigger than. So what is the difference in your core Java created class and in TypeScript created class? Simple little bit difference. Just you are carefully observe that, you will get it. I will give the 2 minutes. Yes, everybody. It is important. But I'm investing the time here.
In Java, we use access modifier.
Okay. In Java, you use access modifier. Okay. No, you are correct, but there is no required to need access modifier. Because in Java, you also initially not be mentioned any access modifier. No? By default, it is a public in Java as well. Class is a public by default. Okay. Just I pointed, you will get. See this. And now tell me the
Class name is
Class name.
Not a file name.
correct. Whereas in core Java,
names must be same.
Class name, file name must be same.
correct. Class name and file name should be same. But here in case, there is no any condition. There is no any condition key. File name is same as it is class name. There is no any condition. File name is different, class name is different. Still, it is working fine. There is a small change. Okay. Clear these things?
Yeah,
Sumit.
Sumit.
Okay.
Hello,
Now,
Sumit.
yes, Hamid, yes.
In Java, we can access the reference variable with that variable, but in TypeScript, we have to we explicitly give this dot that variable name.
Yes, that will further discuss in that class.
Okay.
We will come on that your topic as well.
Okay, Sumit.
Yes, Hamid. Okay. Now, in core Java, I'm just writing here code. I'm using always a core Java and TypeScript comparison, because you are give the better understanding. For that, just I'm giving the comparison, so you get more idea. Because if you learn TypeScript, in that it takes hardly 2 months. I don't want waste that time. So just I'm comparing, and you will get acquaint that TypeScript as well. So in core Java, you can make it as, for example, class, my class, curly bracket. Okay. And inside that, you can mention here, for example, integer a, then string str. Okay. So in core Java, integer a, string str, we called it as we call it as, yes,
Reference variable.
no, it is not a reference variable actually.
Field.
Reference variable concept is different. For that, if you are using any composition or aggregation, in that use we can use a reference variable as well.
Global variable.
Fields.
No, this is not a global variable. Global variable concept is different in core Java. It is not a global variable.
Variable. Instance variable.
Very good, Hamid. It is instance member or variable. कोई लोग उसे you can call it as an instance member. Some people call it as a data member. Both are same. It is not a global variable. That concept, if you that misconception, basically, it is not a global variable. If you want to check the Java document as well. Okay. So it is not a global variable. Global variable concept is a different, very much different in Java. Okay. It is an instance member or data member. Okay. Whereas in TypeScript, if we created any variable in a class, for example, I'm created f name. Okay. F name is a variable name. I want to mention the type, mention colon string. I don't want give var, late, and constant keyword. Once you use a class or inside the class, you created any variable as a class property. Okay. Now f name colon string, it is called a property, or it is called class property. If you created a class property, don't mention any var, late, or constant keyword before the variable name. Okay. Now, if you only gives the variable name and mention the type, so that it is called a property. Now, here onwards, we use a property. Okay. Everybody get the idea what is meant by property? Clear these things, because that property word is most useful in your Angular framework. So property is most important. I'm created fname property. I want to create one more lname property, and for example string. Also I create id whose type is number. So all these are properties of a class. Semicolon again here optional. Don't give any semicolon. But your practices for the core Java, so mention that semicolon as well here. Make it habit and mention that semicolon. So fname lname id is a property. In core Java, you call it as a instance member. For that, you call instance member in core Java. In Typescript, we call it as property. Fine, clear these things, everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now create a method. How we can create the method? Now I'm using a word method. I'm not using function. I'm just whatever I'm pronounce method. Function is a different, method is a different. Two are separate scenario. Okay. So I'm using a word a method, means you can create a method inside the class. Inside the class, we can create any function. We call it as a method. When inside the class, in a Typescript, we create any function or a method, don't use a function keyword. Okay, do not use a function keyword. Just write down your function name. For example, display. My function name is display. Means method name is display. Open close bracket and then curly bracket. No need to write function is a keyword. You can directly give the function or method name. And inside the method, you can perform your logic, same as it is your Java. For example, console.log, and just I can use a backtick operator for the display the formatted output proper way. For that, we use a backtick operator. First name, dollar curly bracket, and we can use up. Right now, I have to access f name. Now that Hamid asked that questions. Okay, Hamid. Now focus your. You will get the answer of that your questions. So f name, lname, id. It is a class property. Okay. Whenever the class property access within that class, anywhere inside the class, you have to access property of a class property inside the method, inside the constructor, or any other things within that class. You have to use this keyword. This is a mandatory. This is a reference, your current reference of a class. Okay, same as a core Java. Core Java also this indicates current reference of a class. Correct?
Yes.
Same here. It's the logic or concept is there. This is a current reference of a class. And on the this dot, you can access your property name. If you want to access any property, use this keyword. It is a mandatory. If you are not using this keyword, it gives an error that they will ask whether f name is your class property. If yes, use this. Otherwise, make it as a local variable. Okay. So it will get error if you're not using this. Then again, last name. Amit, you get it that you got the answer.
Yes.
So this dot L name. Then ID dollar curly bracket, use this dot ID. Okay. Still, I'm not creating any constructor. I will create later. Okay. Now I want to access this display method. How we can access? So first I have to create object of a class. Same like your core Java. Core Java also you create object, and on the basis of the object you can access fname, lname, or display method. Correct? Same. Here also we create object of the class. We can create object of class outside the curly bracket. And if you have to use object name, and you are outside the curly bracket, use keyword var, let, or constant. Outside the class, if you want to create any variable, you use var, either let, either const. Inside the class, don't use that. Okay. Now I want to create object. Object will be created outside the class. So we use a let obj. Okay, or equal to new my class. Only difference is that in core Java you mention instead of let you mention here my class, correct? Here little bit change. Here you have to use let, means create one variable, and that variable holds your my class reference or object. Okay, so in that obj you can call it at display method. Okay, clear these things, everybody?
Yes, Sumit.
Yes, Sumit.
Yes, Sumit.
Okay.
Yes, Sumit.
First we can run this and check out what will the output. What can you tell me the what will the output of that file? Anybody? What will be the output? It comes.
Undefined.
Sorry,
Undefined.
undefined. Very good. So output is first name undefined, last name undefined, IDs are defined. Correct. Because initially we not pass any value or not assign any value for that property fname lm, so it gives a undefined. Okay. Now I have to create a constructor. So simple. Here again some change. In core Java you created constructor as your class name, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, Sumit.
Yes, Sachin.
Yes. So here some change. If you want to make a constructor, you can use a constructor is a keyword. Yeah, basically it is a method, but initially it is called a keyword. Then use open close bracket and then curly bracket. Inside that you can use constructor, means you can initialize your properties. Okay. If I'm not mention any constructor, first of all, if I'm not using write down any constructor for this class, so when let obj equal to new my class, which type of constructor it is called? Same like your core Java.
Default constructor.
Default constructor. Very good. It is called default constructor. Who is responsible to call the default constructor? Okay, in JVM, not in JVM, in core Java, which is responsible to call default constructor in Java? In Java, who is responsible to call a default constructor?
JVM.
No, JVM is not called the default constructor.
If you mention new keyword, then it will call the default constructor.
No, new keyword is create your memory, dynamic memory, created on a heap, only used for that new keyword. It is not called a default constructor. Who is responsible?
Compiler.
What? Who is?
Compile.
Your voice is breaking. Hamid,
Compiler.
sorry. Compiler. Very good, Hamid. In core Java, default constructor will call by compiler always and always, not a JVM. JVM is not doing that this thing. Okay. So here in Typescript, who is responsible in Typescript? Again, compiler. Which compiler?
TAC compiler.
Very good. TSC compiler. That is a TypeScript compiler. The TypeScript compiler will call a default constructor. Clear, everybody? What is the job of constructor? Okay, for a core Java point of view, what is the job of constructor?
Initialize the value.
Initialize the
Objects.
object. Very good. That is correct. Initialize the object. The job of constructor to initialize the object. Here also same. Initialize the object. In Typescript as well, same. Job of constructor is initialize the object. And right now, I'm using a constructor here. So in Typescript, constructor is a keyword. So this is the which type of constructor? If I'm using only this type, so it is called which type of constructor?
No
Hmm.
argument constructor.
Very good. No argument constructor. It is called no argument constructor or parameterless constructor. Okay. If you want to add any parameter, you can add the parameter. Then it is called parameterized constructor or argument constructor. Okay. I just pass the parameter. For example, f string comma else string id a number. Okay. So it is called parameterized constructor or argument constructor. Correct, Hamid?
Yes.
And now inside that constructor, we can just initialize the property. This dot f name is equal to f. This dot l name is equal to l. This dot id is equal to id. Okay. Now we have to pass that value from here itself as well. So we can pass good name Sumit. Then Raukande, and then we can pass the ID. Okay. 9 number is my lucky number, so we can pass it there. We will get the output. What will the output? Whatever the data will be passed it here, we will get the output. Cross check it, compile and run. The first name Sumit, last name Raukande, and ID. We will get the output. Whatever data we can pass that constructor, it initialize that property, and we here just print out that and we'll get the data. Clear these things, everybody?
Yes.
One more thing here, constructor is not overloaded. Means constructor overloading is not possible here. In your core Java, you can constructor overload. Correct? Are you overloading constructor in core Java?
Yes, it is
Yes.
possible in Java.
Yes, it is possible in Java, but in Typescript it is not possible. If you overloading the constructor, it will give the error. Means, what is the meaning of that? You cannot write multiple constructor. If you write multiple constructor, it will give error. Okay. For example, I write there. What will error? Constructor my class. Multiple constructor implementation are not allowed. We call this a constructor overloading. Constructor overloading here is not allowed. Okay. Clear these things, everybody?
Yes, Sumit.
Yes, Sumit.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Next, we use access specifier. Okay. Access specifier. So in core Java, how many access specifier present and which one? Access specifier present in core Java.
Public, protected,
Public,
private.
Protected.
default,
Public,
private,
private, protected, and one more is default. Very good. So in Typescript, only 3 are present. Which one? Public is there, private is there, and protected is there. Default concept is not available in Typescript. Public, private, protected, that access specifier is available in Typescript. Okay. How we can use that access specifier? That here you can use access specifier on property. We cannot apply on class. We cannot apply on a class. We can apply on property. On the basis of property, you can use public, private, protected. By default, in Typescript, class is a public. If you are writing here class, make it as a class as a private, it will give error. It is not allowed in Typescript. Or if you are writing public as well, it also give the error. Okay, so access specifier you can apply only, or you can apply property as well as method. You can make a method as a private, you can. If you want to make a property private, you can. By default, if you're not mentioning any access specifier for property as well as method, it is by default public. Okay. If you're not mentioning any access specifier, method as well as property, it is a public. If you have mentioned access specifier specific, then it make it as a private, if you make it as a protected. Okay. Okay. Now check out that. If I want to apply f name public, you can mention before that variable name or property name public. By default, it is public. No need to write down public, but just for your demo purpose, I'm mentioning here public. If L name you are to make it protected, you can protect it, or I can make it private. And if ID want to protect it, you protect it. Okay. What is mean by public? Public has scope. Public scope can. What is public scope? Scope of a public. It is accessible anywhere. Correct? Hello.
Yes, it is.
Yes, Sumit.
Yes, it is accessible in the same package, in same class, in a different class, in a different package as well. Same here. In Typescript also same. Public, meaning of a public, you can access in same package, in same class, in different package, in different class, anywhere you can access. If you make it public. Private, what is meant by private? Scope of private is
Accessible within class.
within the class. Very good. So that LM is accessed only within that class. You cannot access outside the class. Means in same package, same class. You cannot access outside. Same. Protected. What is the scope of protected?
Within package.
Accessible within the
Sorry?
class and the subclass.
Correct. Accessible in a derived class in same package, or accessible in derived class in different package as well. Okay. Same here itself in Typescript as well. Okay. The scope of protected. Clear these things, everybody. Access specifier.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sumit.
Very good. Now we can furthermore access in the same package. Can we access in the same package in a different file? I can mention here in a different file, just more specific. Sorry, it's different file. Okay, so it is allowed. You can access in a different file as well. Okay, how we can access the different file? Just we can check out here. For example, I want to don't create that object in the same file. Okay, because I'm creating the object in a within that file demo3.ts. I don't want to create the object in the same file. I want to access in a different file. So what to do? First, I have to comment that things. And if you want to ask, if you want to access my class in a different file, first, there is an implementation 2 steps. First, you have to export that class. So you have to use export keyword. Export before the class keyword. Use export. That is the first step. Second step, we can create a new file for that demo4. Demo4. I want to access that my class in a different file, but in a same package. I'm demo34.ts created in the same package, that is a day03 package. Okay, I want to access that my class here. Just a minute, I just split out here. you will get. Okay. Now that my class I have to access in demo4.ts. First step I already use export. Now in demo4 you have to import. Again curly bracket. In that curly bracket mention what you have to access. Means I have to access that my class. So mention that my class name in that curly bracket. Then from. What is meaning of from? Where it is my class present. So that is for the from. So you have to mention the path. How you can mention that path? Single quote, yeah, double quote. We can use a single quote as well, or if you want to use double quote, you can use single quote. Mention the file name. How you can mention the file name? Whereas demo3 is that file is a current package. So by default, your cursor is pointing your current package. So current package is dot. Dot indicates current. / indicates directory. That file present in your current directory, and mention your file name. What is the file name? Demo3. Don't give any extension. Only give the file name. Do not use .ts as an extension. Only use the demo3. Then semicolon. This is the second step. Now you can create your object, my class object in demo4.ts. Now let, for example, my obj equal to new my class. You can pass the value, some different value you can pass. Spruha, Aukande, and lucky number is 3. Okay, fine. Now we can access my obj. On that we can call a display method. Okay, open close bracket. And we can compile and run demo4.ts, not compile and run demo3.ts. Okay, so we can run and compile demo4.ts. So just mention here, instead of 3, demo4.js, demo4.ts, compile and run. So we'll get first name, last name, and ID. Okay, got these things, everybody?
Yes, Sumit.
Sumit.
Yes, sir.
So that import syntax is most important in Angular. Okay, so carefully understand the syntax as well. And export. Okay, now these are I'm importing my class. Can we import any function? So answer is yes, you can. Okay, how we can see here? Outside the class, these are my class curly bracket completed here. Outside the class, I'm created one function. If you want to create a function outside the class, use a function keyword for the creation of a function. Then mention the function name. For example, add. Pass the parameter a colon number, comma b colon number, and we can return number value. So return a plus b. Okay. Now I want to access that add function in demo4.ts. Again, same step. First step. What is the first step? Export. And I want to access add. So mention in the curly bracket in demo4.ts in the import section, comma separated the function name, only function name. And that function is present in demo3. So that is, we already mentioned from current directory demo3. Now you can access here that add function as well. Console.log and addition is. And whatever the addition we can just print out here, add. We can pass 2 arguments, for example, 2, 3, output will be 5. Just cross check it. Sorry. Compile and run. Just check addition is 5. Clear?
Yes,
If you want to access a variable, can be possible? Yes, it is also possible. For example, I am creating a const variable in demo3.ts, const by and whose value is 3.14. I want to access that pi value in demo 4. So first we have to export. Okay, that feature is provided by the Typescript, that export and import. Actually, that feature is given by the ECMAScript. Okay, so that is here we can export it, that variable as well. So pi value I have to export. I have accessed it demo4.ts, comma separated pi, and now here you can access that console. Console.log, and directly I'm just pi value, not mentioning any string value, just displaying pi value. And now check out that can we access that things or not. Compile and run. So we will get 3.14 as well in a same package, but in different file. Clear these things?
Yes, Sumit.
Yes.
Yes, Sumit.
Now we can access in a different package. Okay, how we can access the different package? Now we check out that. First of all, my VS Code editor pointing day03 folder. So I want to not pointing this package. I want to different package. So first, just I make it our VS Code pointing to another folder. So for that, corporate batch, select folder. Okay, now here date 02 folder is present, date 03 folder is present. Okay, now I have create one more folder, my folder. Okay, or inside the my folder I'm created one file. Click here, demo 1.ts, or we can create demo file for your understanding and giving demo5.ts. Okay, and now demo5.ts, I have to access day 3 package. Inside the day 3, I'm created demo 3. I have to access demo 3. Correct? So first things you have to export. That already we done. Now you have to import curly bracket. You have to access my class. So copy that class name and mention that curly bracket class. Now mention the path from. Okay, we use a single quote, double quote, whatever. I'm using double quote. So my class is present which file? Demo 3. And again, demo 3 is a different package, whereas demo 5ts is current folder is my folder, means your is blinking cursor. Cursor means your reference is pointing your current folder or current file. So first you have to make sure that make it exit from your current directory. Your current directory is a my folder. If you have noticed that demo file is present in your my folder. So by default, it is pointing your current directory. So where current my class is not present our current directory in this demo3.ts. So to come out from current directory, use double dot /. Double dot indicates first come out from your current directory and mention your directory name. For example, day 3. You can mention the day 3, your means your package name. Then /, mention your file name, demo 3. Don't give any extension. Now you can access that my class here itself. Let obj equal to new my class. You can use a parameterized constructor. You can mention the Kiran around 10 day and mention 6. Okay, and obj you can call display method, open close bracket, curly bracket. And we can now compile and run demo5.ts, but demo5.ts file is present in my folder, whereas my cmd is pointing day 03 folder. So first I have to cmd open in my folder. So first I'm using cd dot dot. I'm exiting that current directory. Now check out that my folder present inside that. So cd my folder. Now in my folder, if your list the files, your demo5.ts is present there. Okay. Now you can use tsc demo5.ts and node demo5.js. Compile and run. So we'll get first name, last name, and ID. So you can access in a different package as well if you want. Clear these things.
Yes, Sumit.
So that syntax
Yes,
is
Amit.
most important because in Angular, we have to some packages we have to import from our side also. Means Angular will not be provided. I have to import. We have to import. So this syntax is most important. Okay, fine. So